I just feel like moths are really underappreciated, especially because they can come in such beautiful forms. I bought 4 cups of caterpillars. Wow! It actually smells really bad. Day 1, this is Taylor Castro documenting the start of my apothecary. I finally opened the package that arrived weeks ago. At least a week. Let me show you what I got. So first things first, of course, I've purchased some rose buds. I purchased rose buds, and I've also purchased red rose petals. Oh my goodness, these are beautiful. I have a thing for roses. My great-grandmother's maiden name was La Rosa, and I actually considered making that my stage name. Maybe I will, but I think I'm starting to think Castro's stronger, but I just really have a thing for roses. So obviously I got both rose buds and rose petals. And also my first memory was watching Beauty and the Beast, the first opening scenes, so that also has a rose in it. So it's just really significant for me. I like roses a lot. And then I got chamomile. Look how beautiful. Oh, it's so beautiful. Obviously I got chamomile to begin my apothecary. I heard that chamomile is a very polite flower, whereas like mint is a little bit more rambunctious, and it might just kind of like take up the garden. Chamomile will actually help some of the other flowers heal. It'll actually work with the other flowers and make them feel better. Because if you didn't know, all the plants have certain personality traits that you can pick up on in the way that they grow and interact with other plants. And chamomile, it makes sense that it's something we drink to go to sleep because it's just a very comforting and loving plant. I feel like it's like the sweet angels of the plant world. And also, because I do have a tea company, my next blend, I really want it to be chamomile, so I need to make like a chamomile fairy, and I've been trying to brainstorm names. It should start with a K. And I've just been having the hardest time figuring out what the name should be, but yeah, that's definitely the next fairy. So if you have any K names that would match the chamomile essence, please list them below. Next I've gotten, of course, another lovely flower, lavender. I've purchased some lavender. Again, a very calming plant. I'm not sure what its actual personality is, but of course lavender is known as a soothing plant, a soothing flower. Next I've gotten peppermint leaf, which I'm not sure if peppermint is as rambunctious as mint, but obviously they're in the same family. Yes, peppermint leaf, that's lovely for tea. Always love that. And then this is a little bit less common for an early apothecary, I guess, but I got marshmallow root because marshmallow root is delicious. This is like, if you want, I really don't like putting sugar in my tea, but if you use marshmallow root, that's what I like, because I don't dislike sweet tea. I just dislike artificial, or really it can even be real sugar like honey. I still don't like it in my tea. I prefer the actual, just like unchanged essence of whatever flower or plant I'm consuming. And marshmallow root is just very naturally sweet. It's what they put in the throat coat blend that's very popular, and I just remember the first time I drank that, like, what is this? This is like a candy tea, and so I really love that, so I had to get marshmallow root. I got all of these from Mountain Rose Herbs, which was recommended to me by a YouTuber who did a small apothecary tour. I can link that below because it was very helpful. Now I'm gonna go wash the jars I purchased off of Amazon.com, and I'm gonna finally put these in their jars and see what it looks like, and we'll have the start of the apothecary.
On the grave, cracks of 1,000
One down.
all the dividing things.
I didn't know the jars would be this big. I do kind of feel like if I got smaller jars, they wouldn't really pair with the shelves as well because I also didn't know the shelves would be that.
Indian Sea, where the cold and hard meet, and the
This just hurt my back. I don't like it. The fun fact about me is that I grew up not doing any chores. And I remember like really wanting to have chores and get paid for my chores. I wrote a list, and on the list I had all the chores that my sister and I could do, and then next to it there was like a payment, like it might be like 50 cents or $1, and I put it in the living room for the family to see. And then my nanny Gladys, she just like took it down. It was either my nanny Gladys or the housekeeper Isabel, but one of them just took it down. I had a dorm experience in the first apartment, and then like then I got a house even, and throughout all of this I never really properly took out the trash until moving to LA on my own. I finally like took out the trash, and I didn't have a dishwasher, so I was forced to do dishes. And it was just, I know it sounds a little bit crazy, and obviously it's a very privileged thing to say, but it was the first time in my life that I was really doing any of these things. And it's so hard, but at the same time, there is something very rewarding about it, and I feel like there's something very poetic about it as well. Like the state of your space is equivalent to the state of your headspace. There's something to that, and I'm really grateful that I got to grow up in a privileged way. Like, I'm extremely grateful. I'm also grateful that I get to do some chores now, and it makes me feel a little bit more like I deserve a lovely home. It has gotten a lot harder now that Timothy and I live together, and we have 2 cats. 2 cats makes it especially hard, but I'm really hesitant to get anyone to help me because there's something sacred about it. Especially now that I had that experience where it felt very like, oh my gosh, I'm picking up the trash for the first time, and like learning how to take care of myself as if I were a child and I was my own caretaker. It was kind of like the movie Bewitched with Nicole Kidman and Will Ferrell. It's her dream to just like be a human, but she's a witch who like has magic powers, and she can get anything she wants by snapping her fingers. And she's like, no, Daddy, I don't want that. I want to struggle, and I want to like hang out with my friends at the coffee bean and talk about our problems that we want to solve but that are actually unsolvable, and we're just running in circles. And I want my hair to get frizzy in the rain, and I want to learn how to make popcorn in the microwave. And then like she has this whole montage where she does do all of those things, and she gets excited from the littlest things, like how to open a soda can. And as a kid, that was one of my favorite movies, especially one of my favorite Halloween movies. It's The House too. I just love everything about that movie. And that's exactly how it felt when I moved to LA on my own, and I was doing all these chores for the first time by myself. And you know, it's an experience that everyone should have. And yeah, I don't know, but part of the story is her coming to terms with the fact that she is a witch, and you know, she isn't normal, and that's okay too. That movie's actually kind of the blueprint, I'm not gonna lie. That movie and like the Princess Diaries too. If we're talking Halloween movies, Halloween Town was also like a big obsession of mine. My nanny, after that I just mentioned Gladys, we would like watch it together, and I would tell all my friends from like pre-K 4 that I was from Halloween Town. A friend and I, we would just go around and be like, yeah, we're actually from Halloween Town, like really serious. I love how nothing is CGI. I really love when nothing is CGI. Everything is like monster makeup or very obviously fake sets. I love that. Okay, all of the jars are cleaned. I need to dry them off. I'm out of paper towels. It's okay. Yeah, I have this one. Let me use this. I've been wanting to do this for a while, do an apothecary. It's Glastonbury in the UK, next to Bath. There's this gorgeous apothecary that our tour guide's wife worked at, and it's just so cute. And then the other day, like about 2 weeks ago, my dad's sister, my sister's boyfriend, and Timothy and me went to San Francisco, and they had a tea exchange. I think it's tea and spice and tea exchange or something like that there. And they had such a cool apothecary there with so many various things, from sugars to spices and tea. And that's what really prompted me to do it recently. Like, I'm Christian. I don't want to like promote any sort of like witchiness, you know what I mean? But I think the idea there is more of a fairiness, like someone who works with the earth and understands that everything has energy and that it's all being given to us in a way that we can work with, you know, creating brews, tea brews, is a very special and healing process. And it's like I said, you know, every plant has its own personality, its own character, and drinking tea or whatever you might be doing, you're taking in the essence of that plant. If chamomile is a healing and sweet, like literally, like actually a sweet personality plant, that becomes a part of you. And it's the same way with meat. I might add, I've recently begun eating chicken again after, I don't know, a decade of not eating meat, only eating fish, because I needed it. And I think that I'm not one for having a bunch of pills. If your body is telling you that it wants meat, I'm one to believe that you should just give it the thing that it's asking for and not just like take a pill that has that in it, just to kind of keep it as close to being natural as possible. Not that anything is wrong with the pill. Vitamins and supplements are very beneficial, but I just feel like if my body wants chicken, I'm not just going to give it iron gummies, I'm going to give it chicken. But the thing about meat that I do want to mention is if you're eating an animal, eat an animal that had a very happy life. So anything that you're taking in its energy, and just be mindful of that. Okie dokie. Alright. That is off. Let's start with the rosebuds because that's the first one I showed you guys. I'm so excited. Okay. Wow. That's lovely. Hello. I definitely got the right size for the jars, even if it was unintentional. This is cool. Oh my gosh. You guys aren't even gonna believe this. It fits flawlessly. Oh my goodness. I like a thumbnail picture. Okay. Look how flawless that fits. It's so exciting. Okay, rosebuds. Welcome. Let's do the rose petals next. You guys can't see it, but I'm also doing this on like a little butterfly kitchen cloth. I used to raise butterflies. I talked about it in the song I released. I bought 4 cups of caterpillars. Now I'm raising butterflies, and like that's literally true. Like everything in that song is true. I was literally raising butterflies. But I only did it once, and you know what? Recently, I went into the idea of raising moths. Because moths are really underrated. They're so stunning, and they're also nocturnal. They're like the butterflies of the night. They have the same exact evolutionary process. They go into a chrysalis and then they emerge with wings, which is so beautiful. And they're just this, you know, they have the same symbolism as the butterfly. They're just of the night. You know, and I just feel like moths are really underappreciated, especially because they can come in such beautiful forms. And I was like, I want to get some seriously cool moths and make a home for them. And then I can have some moths, and maybe I'll release them if they're, if they fit the habitat. But butterflies you for sure release. but based on what moths I get would determine if I let them loose in this environment. I want to give like a really nice home out of 10. Okay, so this one actually doesn't even totally fit into the jar because this is the one that has the most, I guess, the lightest. Each one I got a pound. Rose petals, it's so stinking beautiful. Wow! Let's do peppermint. Oh my gosh. Peppermint is just so nice. Wow. TC has a tea. That's my tea company. TC. Go buy some for your own enjoyment. We have a tea called Petra. That's peppermint and butterfly pea flower. So it turns purple when you add lemon, and when you don't add lemon, it's like a bluish green, which is also really cool. Beautiful. I'm really excited about that. It's peppermint. Oh my gosh, it looks so good, dude. It looks so good. Let's do lavender. Oh my goodness. Wow. You know what? We don't have a lavender tea at TC yet. We really should. Petra should really have some lavender in her. Now that I think about it, but I want to plant some lavender on the balcony. There's a lot of different variations of lavender, which I found interesting when we were looking at the different lavender plants. There's Spanish lavender, which is probably most significant to me because I am Spanish. I might do that, but and there's like French lavender, and they all look pretty different. I think lavender is a very good gift to get someone when they're going through something hard. If you don't know what to do, just give them some lavender. There's like a powder coming out of it. Lavender. If I really never actually use this, which is not the goal, I do want to use it. But if I don't, like, it's just a great decoration. The same way you'd put dried plants to decorate. But no, I do want to use it. I want to learn some recipes. So gorgeous. Look at that yellow. Like the sun. Remember there's a scene, I think it might have been in Dragon Tales on Sprout or something, and they're just like, it's really tall dandelions that were made to look like lions, and whenever I see chamomile, I remember that scene. There's something oddly comforting about it. I think it was on Dragon Tales, I'm not entirely sure. Chamomile. Beautiful yellow. Marshmallow root. I'm excited to open that one. Marshmallow root is literally like where you get the marshmallow root flavor, like the marshmallow flavor. It actually smells really bad. It's funny. Yeah, it doesn't smell good. It's like hay. Interesting. This one's heavier. Look, it only feels this much. Alright, let's put them on the Apothecary shelf.
on the graves, in the cracks of 1,000 leaves, somewhere in between our past and our future, rolling